Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 4, 2023, and we're getting into the volume 82 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all your comments pulled up in front of me. As always, before I begin, I'm going to mention I am not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first question comment from Pi TV. Pi TV, thank you very much for being publicly subscribed. I really appreciate that. So my mom is NVC documentarily qualified last month and I want to expedite her interview case. She's depressed because of not seeing me for about 9 years. Can I use that to get doctor's report to expedite her case? Or what other way can I expedite her case? Thank you. Pi, thank you for your question. That's an excellent question. Yes, absolutely. You can definitely request the expedited processing on her case. Basically, in your situation, you do meet all of the criteria that is necessary to request that expedited processing. And basically, the two main criteria is that you have to be documentarily qualified, the beneficiary that is, and the immigrant visa has to be available. Because you are petitioning for your mom, it means that in your case, you're a U.S. citizen and you're petitioning for your parent. And as a U.S. citizen, if you're petitioning for your parent, that is immediate relative category. So there is no limitation on the amount of immigrant visas that are available per year. Like, for example, for some of the family preference categories. So the immigrant visa is definitely already available. And she is already documentarily qualified. So another thing, obviously, there's a reason. You have a very, very valid reason. A lot of times on this channel, whenever it comes to the expedited request, I say that really anyone who is waiting, who has been separated from their family member for years, as it takes with the all these family, I-130 petitions. Some of them, they take a really, really long time, and you haven't seen her in 9 years. 9 years is a very long time. So even without any kind of doctor reports, that is already a valid reason. But of course, if you can make the case stronger for that expedited processing request, then yes, definitely, by all means, go ahead, get the statement, medical statement from the doctor, and then send it with the expedited processing. Now, whenever it comes to the requesting the expedited processing itself, it's a very simple process. I actually have a video on this channel on how to do that. Basically, there's an email, specific email. I think it is NVC expedite at state.gov, something along those lines. It's on this channel. Just find that video. It's called NVC expedited processing. All you're doing is you're typing up an email. You're mentioning professional, polite. You're mentioning who you are. You're mentioning the beneficiary. You're explaining the situation, and then you're providing all the evidence attached to it, and then obviously let them know in the email that if they do need the physical, all of this paperwork, then you can obviously forward it to them. But yes, definitely, you meet all the requirements that are necessary to request expedited processing, and you do have a valid reason, just really honestly as everybody else, but still, it's if you can find something that can substantiate your request, then it definitely is much better. So let us know if you can what the response from NVC will be after you do submit that expedited request. Because that would be good for everyone to know whether that was approved or what did they say. All right, let's move on to the next one from Odical. Hello, thanks for the help. Can I use I-864W for my kids who are under 18 as a citizen? Okay, so I-864W, it's an exemption for that affidavit of support, I-864. Actually, you know what? I want to look it up because I want to look at the instructions. I'm pretty sure that you can submit it for the kids. I think that's one of the reasons why you can submit that exemption, but let's take a look. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to demonstrate some navigation on the official USCIS U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website. This is government website, and we can go. I wonder if it's in forms. We're gonna go to forms, all forms, and we will see if I can find it. You know what? 864. Let's see if it comes up. A. It might come up. P. Yes. Okay. There you go. So request for exemption for intending immigrants, affidavit of support. So we're gonna click on that. This is it, and the answer is like this. Whenever it comes to who is eligible to file these forms, you can always, I'm not gonna say always, but at least in all of the cases that I checked personally, you can find those answers in the instructions. So we're gonna go to instructions. It's a PDF document. So we're gonna go through how is form used. This is probably where we're gonna find the answer. Let's see, you have earned or received. So this is specifically for you as an exemption. If you earn certain amount of credits from the Social Security, that's not for us. Intending immigrant is a child who will become a U.S. citizen upon entry under INA Section 320. A child becomes a citizen under INA Section 320 if at least one parent of child is a U.S. citizen, the child is under 18 years of age, and then the child is residing in the United States in the legal and physical custody. This is not applicable to us. But yes, the answer is right there. We found it. Let me see if I can. I'm going to put in this, and I'm going to put source so that you have that. And Pi TV, I probably should go. I'm going to go to this page. Actually, yeah, and you can click on the instructions from this page and you will be able to find that line right there. Boom. All right, and Pi TV, I will try to find that expedited video, and I'll edit my comment and post the link in the comment. All right, let's move on to the next one from Susan Watts. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. My husband is IR1, immediate relative. We have been documentarily qualified since July 2021. When can we hope to get our visa interview? My husband is Ghanaian. I'm American. Susan, I'm sorry you're waiting for so long. This is wow, this is a little bit strange. I have not seen anyone waiting for this long in the immediate relative category. Because here's the thing about the immediate relative category, right? Once you are documentarily qualified, I mean, once you are approved by USCIS already, and your case is sent to the NVC, your immigrant visa is already available. It's there, it's waiting for you to become documentarily qualified. Once you're documentarily qualified, they send it to the US Embassy, and it's just up to the US Embassy to schedule the appointment so that the beneficiary comes and gets the visa. That's it. That's really, there is no waiting. You don't need to wait in line like a lot of people in a lot of family preference categories. Visa Bulletin, that's what we use it for. We use it to estimate how long we have to wait if we are in those family preference categories that have an immigrant visa cap. IR is immediate relative. There is no visa cap. So, are you sure you're in IR1? You're not. Are you a U.S. citizen? You say you are American, so you are a U.S. citizen. You are not a permanent resident. Because if you were a permanent resident, I could say, okay, that's F2A category. There is a little bit of the wait with the pandemic. There is some delays, but IR1, July 2021. So we are getting to almost 2 years now of you waiting after becoming documentarily qualified. That is really strange, Susan. I got a few recommendations, a few things that you can do, and honestly, I'd probably recommend doing them all. So first thing is you definitely need to submit a case inquiry with the NVC, all right? Because you're already documentarily qualified, the case already should have been forwarded to the US Embassy. You need to find out what's going on, and the way you do it is if you go to the description of this video, you will find a link for this page. This is the Visa Bulletin. You don't need the Visa Bulletin, but you do need this website because it's official government website for the Department of State that is dealing specifically with the consular affairs. So all the visas, whatever, they deal with that stuff. And obviously NVC portal is part of the Department of State. So we're gonna go and we're gonna click on top of this page. You see Contact Us. I'm gonna open it in a new tab, and they will give you, when it decides to load, there you go, US Visa Contacts right here. So we're gonna click on this, and then you'll scroll down, you will see this table right here, and at the very top at the very top row, you will see email public inquiry form right here for National Visa Center. So we're gonna click on that, and you will see right here a little bit, below all this information. I know they make it hard to find, sorry about that, but online immigrant visas inquiries only, public inquiry form, and it's a link. So we're gonna click on this link, and this will finally give us the page for the actual inquiry form, which you will have to put your case number, NVC case number right here, that you got in the email that you used in order to log into the NVC portal. You're gonna put principal applicant's full name, that's gonna be beneficiary, principal applicant's date of birth, that's gonna be beneficiaries, your husband's date of birth, and then petitioner, that's gonna be your full name. Who are you? You're gonna be the petitioner, email address, and then the inquiry. In the inquiry, again, you will mention, hey, my name is this and this, my beneficiary, my husband is this and this, we are in IR1, immediate relative category, and we have been documentarily qualified since July 2021, and we still did not get the interview, so I wanted to follow up and see what is happening. That's number one thing, all right? Number two thing, I would also recommend reaching out to the local US Embassy, and you said it is in Ghanaian. So what you do is there is a website called usembassy.gov. There it is. It came up, and I'm not really great with geography. I'm horrible with geography. That's the correct way to say it. Ghanaian. So it's Ghana. So we're gonna go to Ghana, and that should give us all the U.S. embassies. There's only one, looks like, embassy in Ghana, and it's in Accra. This is their phone number. Give them a call. Just be polite, professional, just like with your inquiry. And everyone who's watching, always be polite, professional. Don't try to stir things up. Don't be attitude, because it's easy. It's easy to give into emotions. You've been waiting for a long time. It's understandable, but still try to maintain that professional, and it will always work out better for you. Call them up and say the same thing. Say, hey, I'm the petitioner. The immigrant visa should already be available because we are in IR1 category. I have been documentarily qualified way back in July 2021, but I still haven't gotten the interview. So I was wondering if you could give me approximate, when the interview is going to be scheduled, if you have received the case, if you could verify that. One word of warning though, kind of like a disclaimer, is that sometimes, a lot of times, it's at their discretion to give you information or not. So they might just say, hey, I'm sorry, we cannot give you this information. If that's the case, don't be too upset. You tried. There's nothing wrong with it. That's fine. But maybe, just maybe, somebody is really nice on the phone and they will give you that information and look and say, oh yeah, we have been crazy busy with these immigrant appointments. We don't have any appointments available for the next 3-4 months or 6 months or another year or whatever. So at least you will have some rough estimates when that appointment is going to be scheduled. So that's two things that you can do right now. Another thing that you can do after you receive the response from NVC to the public inquiry that you submitted, most likely it's going to be boilerplate, and they'll just say, oh yeah, your case has been sent to US Embassy, it's being processed, whatever. After you get that response from them, submit an NVC expedited request. The one that I was explaining earlier, the one that, who was asking? Pi TV, and I'll put the link for the video on how to send, the request at expedited processing in Pi TV's comment and also in your comment. But do that after you submit the public inquiry form. But I'm sorry you have to wait for so long. It's really strange. I have seen some cases where people wait like 9 months, like closer to a year, but you are definitely over a year. You're going on almost, a couple more months, and it's going to be 2 years. So far, I haven't seen somebody waiting in immediate relative category because, again, immigrant visa is readily available. The only thing I can think of why it's taking so long is if the U.S. Embassy in Ghana, this U.S. Embassy is really, really busy, and they had some ridiculous amount of backlog from the pandemic, and they're still dealing with it. A lot of embassies are, but a lot of embassies, they were able to catch up because they were busy, but not that crazy busy. So we will see. Susan, hopefully I was able to, hopefully you'll be able to resolve this situation and find out. Please come back. And that goes for everyone. If you are able to resolve your situation, please come back and let us know, because it will be helpful. It's one thing, getting questions and answering questions, but it's also really nice to hear some resolutions as well. I'm gonna start talking a little quieter because I'm losing my voice. All right, next question from Andrew Keener. What's a spousal visa for the US called? I'm in a relationship with someone in the Philippines, and we're thinking about when we get married to get married there. Between the fiancé and spousal visa, which do you recommend and why? Andrew, thank you very much for another question. So the spousal visa is going to be K3. And that is a non-immigrant visa for spouses of US citizens. It's a really strange category because it's in non-immigrant category, which is really weird because, if your spouse is a US citizen and you're getting the visa to come to the United States, I don't see how it's non-immigrant because, what, are you not going to live with your spouse in the United States, or you don't have plans to live with your spouse? It's strange. It's a little bit strange. So you have a few options, right? You have an option for a K1 visa, which is fiancé visa. And that's the situation where you want to invite your fiancé from Philippines before getting married. If you decide to go and get married over there and you want her to come with you, in that case, you're going to need to apply for the K3 visa, which is the spousal visa for a spouse of a US citizen. It's non-immigrant though. Keep that in mind. Obviously, if you are getting, regardless whether you get married here or if you're getting married in Philippines, you will have I-130 process involved. Petition for alien relative. You will be petitioning for your spouse to basically become a permanent resident here in the United States of America. The process will be a little bit different if you are doing it while she's still there or if she's here. It doesn't make it more complicated or anything like that. The only big thing that it changes is that if she's here and then you're doing this process, then obviously she's here, she's with you, and that's great. And if she's there, then there is a little bit of a time to wait for you to file that I-130 petition, and then waiting to be approved by USCIS, then waiting to be approved by the NVC, become documentarily qualified, and then waiting for the US Embassy interview, and then her going to the interview, and then coming down here. So I think in your situation, you can go either way about it, but if you have a plans to go there and get married there, then I think the best case scenario for you would be getting that K3 visa, non-immigrant spouse visa for spouses of a US citizen, and then she comes here. Doesn't really matter. You don't have to wait necessarily to come here and from here file the I-130 petition. You can file it immediately after you guys get married if you want to. That is up to you. Or you can come here and then file that I-130 petition because it is filed online. But regardless, I would recommend filing it as soon as possible. Why? Because there is some time involved. As you heard me answering Susan's question, she's American. She's a U.S. citizen. And she filed for her husband. It's IR1, immediate relative category. And look, she's waiting for a long time. And that's after becoming documentarily qualified. Before becoming documentarily qualified, you also have to deal with NVC submitting all the documents. And before NVC, you have to deal with USCIS. So whichever way you decide, Andrew, I guess the conclusion of my answer is just start that I-130 petition as soon as possible. But yes, K3... That's what you're asking. K1 is fiance, and then K3 is the for a spouse. All right, moving further to the next question from Dennis Tufour. Dennis, thank you very much for another question. When is the new visa bulletin coming out, sir? Should be really, really soon. So right now we have May 2023. If we click on this link right here, the visa bulletin, and you have this link in the description below this video, so you can check it yourself every day. In fact, May 2023 video. Somebody told me from subscribers, from the viewers of this channel, somebody told me, it was like, hey, May 2023 is out, when are you gonna get on it? And I was like, oh wow, it's already out, I gotta get on it. So so you probably will find out before me, but as you can see, there's already a place for June right here, so it can be, we'll see. Usually it's like usually it's like in the second half of the month, but May 2023 came out pretty early, so we will see. Maybe June will come out pretty early, but I check it every day. Dennis, check it every day as well. If you see it before I do, definitely let me know. And yeah, as soon as it comes out, I'll be making a video on it, because you guys know it's personal stuff for me too. I have 130 petition, so I check those dates for everyone who's subscribed to the channel and watching and asking questions, and for myself too. All right, moving further to the next question from Musinification. Hi, I have a question to you, please. I'm already received a letter of interview. Congratulations. And I have all documents with me. How can I travel from the airport? In other words, what kind of document I have to show them in the airport other than the passport? Is there any document NVC will give me, like a pass or what? Thank you for your assistance and I appreciate your help. Musinification. I got a question for you. Where did they schedule the interview for you? Is it not in your local US embassy in your country? If you're not in the United States, of course. If you are already in the United States, then obviously you wouldn't ask me this question. So I'm assuming that you are not in the United States, you're outside of the United States. And if that's the case, then they should have scheduled the interview at the local US embassy. So if you can, please answer my question. If you can, provide a follow-up comment, and I might address it a little better, because right now I'm a little bit confused. Because, like for example, in Susan's case, right? She's here in the United States of America. Her husband is in Ghana, okay? So they will schedule the interview for her husband in Ghana. And let's say if, Andrew is gonna be here in the United States, and his spouse, future spouse, is gonna be going through the interview. If she's in Philippines, she will be going through interview in US Embassy in Philippines. So yes, Musinification, if you can, let me know, because I'm a little bit confused about your question. Just please make sure don't respond to my comment within your comment. Just submit a separate comment, because if you do, I don't get notifications for that. All right, moving further to Greeb Vlogger. Greeb, thank you very much for another question. Salam, walaikum assalam. A request for expediting, and my processing center is Potomac. Okay, but I got email reply for my expedite request from Texas Center. Oh, interesting. I just want to know if it means my case is transferred to Potomac. If yes, then why I didn't get any notice from USCIS? Greeb, I don't know. I've never seen, at least in my experience, I've never seen USCIS send a notice that they have changed the service center. It might be the case. They might send notices like this. I haven't seen one, so I don't know. Another thing I might be thinking, if you're sure that your case is at Potomac, that is, if you for sure know that the case is in Potomac and you get a response from Texas Center, then I'm assuming maybe Texas Center, because think about it this way, right? Yes, we do have all of these service centers, right? California, Potomac, Texas, Nebraska, but at the same time, right now, USCIS have that National Benefit Center, the NBC, which is basically a central electronic system for all of these cases. So it might just be that USCIS responded from Texas Service Center because it was easier for them. Maybe there was somebody available to review your expedited request. They review it through the central system, and then they responded from Texas. That might be the case as well. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. My main concern probably would be, what did they respond? Did they satisfactorily respond to your expedited request? Because if they didn't, then I would recommend, going further and maybe reaching out to local elected officials and staying on top of it and trying to get it, to go through. If possible, just be professional, polite, as I always say. But if you know that expedited request, is applicable to your case, then yeah, definitely keep working on it. All right, that's I think that's what I wanted to say to this one. Let's move on to Lenny. Lenny0813, how many pictures do I include? 1 or 2? And that is a question on I-131 application for travel document. Great question. Let's take a look at USCIS. Once again, we're going to go to forms, all forms, 131, application for travel document. There you go. So we can see, let's see, checklist for required initial evidence. We can check this first. Let's see, did you provide a copy of official photo identification, blah, 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 proof of refugee, a statement, if outside the United States, if outside of the United States, 2 identical photos, color photo style. Okay, that's for refugee travel document if outside of the United States. If you're here, you don't need to worry about pictures, looks like. For re-entry permit, let's see, a copy of official photo evidence that you're lawful permanent residence. For an advanced parole document, so no pictures here at all. For advanced parole, a copy, 2 identical passport style photographs. For advanced parole, who are currently in the United States. So I'm assuming that's probably why you're asking. So it looks like 2 pictures. Every time they're asked for a picture, it's 2 pictures. So there you go, 2 pictures. All right, moving further to Roni C. Is it better to open a US immigration account and file online and submit through the account? Yes, 100%, absolutely. Absolutely. The only reason some people, they prefer to file it by mail is just because they don't feel comfortable with using technology, with using the website, creating the account. Even to those people that are not comfortable, I would recommend just spend a little bit of time, spend an extra day, spend 2 days. 3 days if you need to, and learn the navigation on the website, figure out the way to create the email, to create an account, because you're going to need all that stuff. You're going to need the email regardless, especially with I-130, because NVC, USCIS, they're not that big on the email. NVC, however, all of the updates you will be getting in email, all right? And you don't want to get them by mail and wait, because, you know, something happens. There is an update on your case. If you don't know right away about it, you're going to be waiting for that letter for days. So when you open that letter and you're like, oh, there's an update on my case, that's already like a week old update, you know? With email, you're going to know immediately. As soon as there is an update on your case, you know it. And obviously with the email, USCIS online account, all of that stuff works together, all of that stuff combined. Another reason why it's much better to file stuff online, especially with I-130, is because you don't have to worry about mailing all of this stuff. Mailing all of that stuff, it, you know, obviously there's a risk that something might get lost, something might not be open because it's all in the paper. With online stuff, everything is in one place. The application, all the evidence that you submit in electronic format, all of the payments. Once you pay online, the application is automatically received by USCIS. So if there are no mistakes, if there's no missing anything in the application, which is highly unlikely because you're doing it online. So all of the required fields, you can't skip them like you can by mistake skip them in the application. Online, you won't be able to do that. So again, most likely you're not going to be able to do a mistake, even if you didn't pay attention in the online application, which is great. Prevents mistakes, much faster, everything in one place. I hope that's enough reasons, you know, to file this online. All right, let's move on to the next question. Probably our last question for today from Bhagwati Sahadeo. Hi, sir. Good night. I got through with the NVC and they said they're still working on the priority date is 2014. Okay, so you did get the response from them. I don't remember, Bhagwati, if you were documentarily qualified or not. If you are not documentarily qualified, then really at this point you did give a nudge to NVC. They know you're on top of the case. They know you're waiting. Now it's just, you know, praying for some patience. But if you are already documentarily qualified, then you have another option. You can do an expedited request for expedited processing with the NVC. But again, if they responded and they said obviously it's a boilerplate response, but at least they're still working on the case, and you know that for a fact now. Because you reminded them about yourself, and the case is still there. But thank you everyone for watching. I really hope my answers today were helpful to all of you to who I answered. If not, even if it's just to some of you, it's still a blessing, and I really appreciate your trust and the opportunity for me to answer these questions. If you have any follow-up questions, do not hesitate to ask them. As many questions as you have, they're welcome on this channel. I will never say, oh, this person asked me already 3 questions. Oh, again, 4 questions. No, I'll never say that because without your questions, I wouldn't be able to make these videos possible. So, you know, it's thanks to you. So thank you for your time. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.